What's up, guys? How's everybody doing tonight? This is 1987 Mastermind with another exhilarating political video. Entertaining. No, just some tax, just some issue with the tax cuts. As everybody knows, the Republicans and the Democrats have made a, not necessarily, I shouldn't say that, but Obama and the Republicans have made a compromise on the tax cuts issue, and they agreed to extend the Bush tax cuts for another 2 years, have a temporary payroll, workers' payroll, I think that's what it is, for about, not for about, I should say, for a year, for a 2% cut. And one thing that I don't like is the extension of unemployment benefits. Yeah. I wanted to bring up this issue. There's a couple of things that I have to get off my chest. I'm not upset about it, but I just got to explain it. I just don't like when people use I don't like when people use the rhetoric, the millionaires and billionaires. You know what I mean? I don't like that rhetoric because why are people, to me, it's just why are people demonized because they're successful? If people work their butts off, they work their ass off, it just sounds better. Anyway, if they worked really hard, you know what I'm saying? Sorry, I got to adjust the, Anyway, if people work hard for their money and they work hard, you know what? Why are they demonized? Why are rich people? I'm not saying all. Please don't misconstrue what I'm saying. I'm not trying to say all rich people are ethical and they're all honest and they're not all greedy. Of course, they're greedy rich people. They're greedy people in the federal government, and you know what I'm saying? But I hate that term. We don't have a class system in this country. We don't. Because, you know what? No matter the great thing about this country, I'm not saying it's perfect, again, to reiterate, is that no matter where you are, no matter what, pasts or cultures and stuff you've come from or what your previous, it's not like in England, like only if you're from a rich class, you stay rich. If you're rich, you stay rich, or poor, you stay poor. There's no nobles, there's no working class in this country. There's one class, and that's the American dream, my friend. And no matter what trials and tribulations from this country, that you have in your life, this country allows you for the opportunity for you to succeed and be successful. To me, to use the term, I should say, not term, rich, ultra rich, and all these things, and to use the term middle class, lower class, upper class, it just puts peoples in groups and puts citizen against citizen. You're rich, you're poor, you're greedy, because the politicians said, rich people must be greedy. There aren't any honest, ethical people who just want to work hard and provide for their families. And I don't hear the argument of saying, "Oh, do the rich people really need that money?" Even if that were the case, which I think they do. I know I'm going to get the liberals out there. They're going to freak out of their heads when I say that. What the hell is it the government's business how much a person makes? If he ethically, honestly made it, and he really, he worked for it, who gives a damn? It doesn't affect you. Just like with healthcare. Why does everybody have to have healthcare? If someone doesn't want to have healthcare right now, the point is, why do I have to have healthcare right now if I don't need it? You know what I'm saying? When you're overwhelmingly healthy, or you can afford it and you have no other expenses, why should I have to commit to something that's going to be way expensive? Who knows, But yeah, that's how the issue is. Now, there are common misfacts that people use. That reducing taxes for upper income earners in America does not work. Tax cuts don't work. People don't spend it. I have an article. Actually, someone sent me this. PHOENIXBORNAGAIN, I think his name is. Awesome guy. Has some awesome videos. Really, he's all over YouTube. Good guy. Anyway, he sent me something from the Commerce Department. I think it's our Department of Labor. I'm not sure exactly where it's from, but it's a reputable source. It's not some conservative propaganda like the liberals like to say. It's a reputable source, and it just proves that free market principles that was, I should say, embraced by the President Reagan, that was embraced by President George W. Bush, which I don't agree with completely, obviously, but that's not what this video is about, and Democrat JFK. It proves everything. All right, let me get to that article. This is from Phoenix Born Again. 20 million new jobs were created under the Reagan presidency. U.S. statistical abstract. Of these 21 million new jobs, the average hourly wage was $10 an hour. Minus 46.1% were over $28,000 a year, and another 46% was $7,000 a year. He compares Carter, but basically, essentially what this is saying. Okay, let me get to this. During the Reagan presidency, he decreased the tax rate from the richest quintile, which means the upper income earners, from about 70% in 1981 to 31% in 1988. Joint Economics Committee, this is where it's from 1990. In 1981, the beginning of the Reagan presidency, the top 5% of wage earners paid 35% of the income taxes, while the bottom 50 paid 8%. By 1988, at the end of Reagan's presidency, the top 5% paid 46% of the taxes of the federal wages, while the bottom 50 paid 6%. During Reagan's presidency, inflation went down massively. It went down from 13.5%, and it went down in 1984, eventually went down by 1988 to 4.1%. Now, the middle class, which I don't buy that language, but that the Democrats claim to, love so much, they saw a 28% growth in their national net worth during the Reagan's time in office. Okay? National Review, 1994. All right? This just goes to show you. Now, I don't know where the other source, but I have another couple other sources that I've seen, and they're reputable sources. Unemployment went down. Unemployment was about 9 or 10% under Carter. Went down to about 4 or 5%. It went down exponentially. Plus $13 trillion in economic surplus. All right. Just to say that the Reagan, the Camp Roth bill, that's what they called it, the Camp Roth bill. To say that the Camp Roth bill didn't work, the free market principles. To say that I know what to do with my money than a bunch of hack politicians in Washington know what to do. That's the argument. That was the argument to me of November 2nd, is that do a bunch of hack politicians in Washington know what to do with your money, or do you know what to do with your money? Let's think about the logic. Do these politicians experience what you experience in your life? Do they know what kind of expenses you have? Let me give you a perfect example, and I think this is an unbelievable point, and all Jews can relate to me. Jews have a lot more expenses than non-Jews do, than Gentiles do. Whatever, it doesn't make any sense. Anyway, do the Democrats and know that? Do they know that we have to spend money on Passover, that food's double the price, that we have tuition, and that most people don't have to pay for tuition because they go to public school? No, they don't take that into tuition. Let me ask you this. Mark Levin made this great point about this on his radio show. What happens when the person sells his house and it's worth $250,000? What happens if a person decides to take out money from an investment that he built into his whole entire life? That's worth more than $250,000. Is that now going to be taxed? You know what I'm saying? That person's not necessarily rich. All of a sudden become richer because they have money that they were saving up their whole entire life. Is that rich? No. To me, this is going to be controversial. This is going to be controversial. That's right, I said it. All right, whoever knows who that's from. Anyway, to me, this is going to be controversial, but I'm not saying all Democrats do, and I'm sure that a lot of Democrats have good intentions. And look, I'm not saying all Democrats are bad. No, God forbid. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of good people out there that are Democrats who have very good intentions. But to me, the hardcore leftists, the Nancy Pelosi's, the Harry Body Odor Reeds, the Barack Obamas, to me, they're not saying it, but they hate the American dream. To them, the American dream means you're greedy. You're a greedy bastard. You don't care about anybody else but yourself. All you want to do is become rich. And it's not about working hard. It's not about putting 10, 15 to 20 hours, working your whole entire life to make a business. Not everyone's this rich person. Not everyone's a Paris Hilton that inherits billions from her father. Yeah, she makes her living. You got to give her credit for that, obviously. Okay? But she would not have that name otherwise. Would she be able to get any of these jobs if she wouldn't have the Hilton name? Anyways, that's not my point of my video. The point of this video is that why are rich people demonized? If you're successful and you reach the American dream and you work your butt off your whole entire life, coming through trials and tribulation and adversities in your life, why is that bad? And again, just to reiterate, that's not to say that there aren't really rich people. Look, society isn't perfect. No one's perfect in life. Everybody has their bad stuff in life. Of course, no one's going to say that. Everybody has their bugaboos in life. You know what I'm saying? But to demonize all the rich people to me is no. Not all rich people are bad. Now, you got to understand, there's another common misconception that I want to get into. That there was a surplus under Clinton. Lie. I think it's from the Department of Labor of the U.S. Treasury. He had a deficit of 200 or more every year. Besides the last 2 years, I think. Around there, I know for sure. He had a $200 billion deficit, $200 billion deficit, $99 billion in his last year. Never had a surplus. Plus, the economy was going into a recession. Most people don't understand this, is that Bush inherited a recession. Unemployment was like at 6 point something percent when Bush took over, and the economy was getting bad. You gotta understand, I don't like to use the word inherited, but Clinton inherited a Reagan economy, where things were getting already better by Reagan. Now, that's not to say I'm not defending Bush. I mean, a lot of the things that Bush did I detest, and I think Bush is a liberal on many fronts, and he was a disgrace on many fronts, but when it came to the war and everything else, I think I agree with him on. There's the things I disagree with him on, and the things that I agree with him on. Now, here's my theory with the tax cuts, and with this I'll close. What was I going to say? Ooh, sorry, guys. Yeah, all right, so there's the issue. Well, brain. All right. I thought I would have voted yes on this bill. Now, I don't like the unemployment compensation, but you're not going to get anything with a supermajority in the House and the Senate. Now, what we could try to do when we take over in a week or two, January 5th or 4th, I think the Republicans take over, and try to extend them completely. I wouldn't do that. I would have tried to cut them further down. It just proves all this statistics that I just proved to you, that free market principles, that giving money to the producers in this society, just works. You know what I'm saying? And look, facts are facts, my friend. That's the way it is. You know? So I would have voted yes on this bill, because we could always extend them again when we take over, and we could always, introduce more bills and stuff like that. Yeah. But obviously the number one thing that the new freshmen in Congress have to worry about is repealing Obamacare. First, second, and third. I mean, I got into it in other videos, but you're seeing Obamacare's tentacles reaching across the entire economy. It's in a negative way. And I have statistics to prove that, articles from the New York Post and various other articles, that people are cutting people off the healthcare. They're denying drugs already, and this healthcare, like we predicted, is a disaster bill. And there are economic solutions, which I will not get into. The next video, I'll get into that. Anyways, take care, guys, and if I don't upload another political video, happy holidays. Take care, guys.